Okay, so tips, tricks, and techniques. Using social sales is really actually something that's quite easy, and anybody can really do it. The lost art of the referral is something that we've been talking about in this blog post, and really, what does the lost art of the referral mean? To me, as a sales executive, I know that if I can create really excited customers that love our service and we've delivered on what we promised to deliver on, I'm pretty confident I can go back to a customer and ask them for a referral. Normally what I would do in that process is I would probably send an email and say, hey, thank you so much for doing business with my company. We really appreciate you as a customer. We would love to get introduced to a couple of people that you might know that you thought would be a great fit for our service. Today, we can still do that same process in email, or we can use social. One of the really neat things about connecting with our prospects on social is that we can sort of tell pretty quickly who they're connected to. So for instance, let's role play. I actually just sold a deal to Richard Brasser. And Richard Brasser is connected to me. He's a first degree connection. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to just look at who Richard's connected to socially. And what I'm going to do is actually reach out to Richard and ask him for some referrals. If I find anybody that might be a great connection of Richard that would be interested in looking at our products and services. So I am going to go ahead and just add a little note to Richard's file. Today is the 25th of November, and I am going to look through Richard's profile. Through Richard's profile for connections and export to CRM once found. All right, so we'll save that note, and there's the note, 11/26. You can see I sort of made a mistake on that date, but let's edit that, and we'll just drop the 26 in there, and then we'll save. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Richard's connections. So here's the connections that Richard has on LinkedIn. What I want to do as a sales executive is I actually want to pinpoint who is the individual that I'm going to sell product to. So I'm going to click on the little magnifying glass right here, and I'm just going to put a title in. So I sell social sales enablement products. Our solutions are training and technology solutions. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Vice President of Sales. I'm going to click the enter button, and here we go. So we've got some VPs of sales. So regional vice president, that's pretty good. Vice president of field operations, vice president of sales and marketing, global executive, global business. All right, so it looks like we've got some people. SVP of sales at Silverpop. I like what I'm seeing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a little bit deeper of a dive and figure out who are these people. So I'm going to hold the control key down on my keyboard, and I'm actually just going to launch some of these windows and get some of these people out there to really take a quick look and see who they are and see if it makes sense to ask Richard if he wouldn't mind referring me to these individuals. So we'll start with the first 10. I think we've got 10. We have 10. And let's just take a quick look at them. So I sold a solution that really enables the sales force to engage with prospects on social sites. So ideally what I'm looking for is an organization that has a couple hundred sales representatives, a minimum of maybe 50 to start. So I can pretty quickly, through some top-line data, determine if Dwayne Lyle is the right prospect for me. Now, first of all, I can hover over standard register of the company, and I can see, oh, you know what, wait a second here. This is a company that has, up to 5,000 employees. Dwayne's definitely a great prospect for me to connect with. So I'm going to add a quick note to Dwayne's record. And the note is going to be connect with Richard. Awesome. So I'm all done. So, I'm going to come back to Dwayne in a couple of minutes, but I've got a bunch open right now, so I'd like to actually just go through and figure out of these companies, just the first 10 that I've looked at, is there anybody out there that would be a great company for me to sell to? 10,000 sales reps. Yeah, all right. So 10,000 people employed on LinkedIn. I am going to go ahead and add this guy, add a little note in here, and then say, reach out to Richard for a referral. Okay, so I think you probably get it, right? Hopefully you understand what I'm doing here. I'm just going through and looking at the individual companies and the guides of the companies and trying to see if they would be a great prospect for me. If they're not a great prospect, then I'm probably going to not actually connect with these individuals. So let's carry it a step forward and let's actually go ahead and ask Richard for the referral. So I can see that Chris Strauss is actually an individual I cannot send an email to. I can ask Chris for more information. I can get introduced to Chris. I can search for references. I can share his profile. So today I'm actually going to get introduced to Chris. And what I'm going to do is ask Richard Brasser for the introduction. So you can see Richard and I are connected. So I'm going to slide Richard into that little area. And essentially I'm going to ask Richard for a referral. So in the subject line, remember what you are looking for is a common connection between Richard and Chris, not a common connection between you and your objective. Now what you want to do is lean on that common connection between Chris and Richard and see if there's an opportunity for you to start a conversation with Chris through your referral, Richard. So in here, I'm actually going to mention Chris's name. So in regards to Chris Strauss, and then remember, I should be at a point where I'm pretty conversational with Richard, and he knows who I am. Hopefully he's a customer, and I'm going to be able to rely on his experience with my company to really push the referral through. So I'm going to send a quick message to Richard. Now, if you're like me and you're sending out 10, 15 of these an hour, you may probably already have that message typed up in like a Microsoft Outlook or Microsoft Word doc, and you just copy and paste the message in there. But what I want you to see is I want you to see the conversational component of this. So, hi Richard, I noticed that I'm going to say something really simple. Okay, so keep it simple. It's conversational. I noticed that you were connected to Chris. As a client of mine, I was hoping to see if you wouldn't mind connecting me to Chris. We noticed that Chris is a possible party who would also benefit from our services, right? Thanks for your consideration, Shannon. I'm going to send that request along. So we found some possible parties connected to a recent buyer of our products and services. Now what we want to do is we want to carry that conversation forward. So I actually do this all the time. So check it out. We're in my email, and I'm going to show you an example of one that just came through. So I had reached out to a connection of mine, and I said, hi, Garth. I was researching the leaders of sales at Epsilon and noticed that you're connected to Eric Presley. This isn't a pretty typical email, right? I'm referencing some clients, and we did some research on Epsilon and found a unique opportunity to provide the sales force with the ability to place Epsilon's direct marketing message in front of 134,000 people. The most important part of this whole thing is that I'm asking Garth if he wouldn't mind providing me with a referral. So I said, appreciate your willingness to make the referral for our factor. If you feel you may not be best candidate to deliver our request to connect with Garth, I completely understand. Please let me know either way. So there we go. So it's wrapped up. So guess what? You know, it happens all the time. Garth sends it out as a private message to the contact. And here is the result. Are you going to Dreamforce? Both Shannon and I will be there. Great conversation with that. And then he says, let's catch up sometime soon. Do you have Shannon's email address? I'll shoot him a note. So Epsilon's $1 million account to me as a sales executive. And the individual I'm reaching out to is a SVP of sales. This guy's getting 200, 300, 400, 500 emails every couple of days, and I know that. So if I want to make a good impression on the economic buyer and I want to challenge their mindset about our products and services, I sort of need to meet them on the road of social, a place where we can have a conversation. It's only a conversation, and then if it's something that he's interested in learning a little bit more about, or there's a particular time that he would like to research my products and services, that's what I'm looking for today. So starting conversations on social is as easy as asking your current customers for referrals, but making it very easy for them to provide that referral to you. So I hope this helps out and look forward to connecting with you guys soon.